a typical program in the US costs you about $30,000 to $50,000 per year. Now, if you belong to a middle-class family, and I get these queries all the time. People come to me and they tell me, Yash, I belong from a middle-class family. My family does not have the means to support me for the program that I want to go for. It's costing me like $60,000 or $70,000 in 2 years, and it's insanely costly. My family does not earn that much in the whole year collectively. And here I am sitting wondering if I will ever be able to go for this program, if it's something that is achievable, or I'm just wasting my time, like even dreaming about it, dreaming about getting to that school and studying over there. Well, guess what? It's never impossible, and guess what? We can make that happen. You don't need to pay that much. That's the good news. If that's something that you are interested in, and if that sounds like you and the questions that you have in your mind, we're going to be making sure that we clear all of that in this video. So if you're interested, continue watching. Alright, the first thing that we want to talk about today is the cost of the programs. Okay, now I know you will, if you go onto the websites of some universities, you will find that they're asking an insanely huge amount. It can literally be, like, depending on the program, of course, it can be from $30,000 per year to even $70,000, $80,000 per year. It depends. And most costly programs would be some like the MBA programs, and some of the cheaper programs, of course, like you guys might be going for an MS program, okay, Master of Science program. That's significantly cheaper than the MBA, but it is still way too high for us to pay, because if you come from a country like mine in India, people don't even earn that much money. Like a whole family might not earn that much money in 2 years, the amount that they're asking you to pay in 2 years. So yeah, it can get difficult for you, and you might think whether my family will be able to support it. But let's talk this through first. One thing I want you to know is, whenever you go onto a university's page and you see a price over there that this is the cost of the program, this is the tuition that you will be paying, that is usually not the tuition that you will be paying. You need to know that. That's more like an MRP, right? An MRP tag, I'm sure that you've checked it somewhere in the stores or something when you're going ahead to buy groceries, right? You check the maximum retail price, MRP. That's the maximum amount that thing can be sold for, all right? Do you really always pay that amount? No, right? So understand this. The amount that is listed on the websites of the universities is an MRP. You will almost never be paying that amount, okay? Now let me tell you about how much discount you can expect over here, okay? So I know the analogy is fitting very well over here. That's why I chose this one. I hope this helps. It's gonna make things easier for you to understand. But for any of you who wonders, how can I pay 50, 60 lakhs, just for my program, 70, 80 sometimes, or maybe a crore, depending on your program, it just doesn't fit. And you might be thinking, I might not be able to afford this program at all. But guess what? This might not work for, by the way, this might not work for the top 20, 25 universities. You need to understand that, but I'll come back to that in a bit, okay? The ranking of the universities, I'll come back to that. But first, let's talk about what we can do to actually make sure that the situation inclines in our favor. First thing you need to understand is that there are so many scholarships. Now, there's two types of scholarships. The first, internal scholarships. That's you apply to a university named, I don't know, let's take the example of Stanford. And Stanford gives you basically a scholarship. They tell you that, all right, we know that your program is $70,000, but we're gonna take $20,000 off from it. Or maybe we're gonna take $50,000 off from it if you're that good. Okay, that's an internal scholarship. You applied to a university, and the same university, one of its schools that you were applying to, gave you a scholarship, and you don't have to pay that amount back. You don't have, you might have a condition like you need to maintain a 3.0 GPA or more, but that's it. You don't have to pay that amount after that, okay? The other one is external scholarships. There's a lot of other external scholarships. Again, you can check more on that on the blogs on YMGrad. We call them articles. Basically, external scholarships would be something like the Grace Hopper Scholarship Program, right? So these are the ones which basically you apply to Stanford, you get in, you get the admission, but Grace Hopper comes in out of nowhere and it starts funding your education at Stanford, right? So one thing you need to understand over here is that scholarships are very common. Almost every student can get a scholarship. It's another fact that not everyone gets one. And I'm gonna make sure, if you are on this channel, if you're sticking around here, that you get one, okay? This year, let me tell you, I mean, the whole thing that I personally like to do at YMGrad is that whenever people come in and to work with me, we wanna make sure that we take every aspect of their profile and we want to sort of experiment with that. How can we make it better? So this year, what I did was I tried finding out new ways to get these people scholarships, you know, like new ways to get these people some sort of funding. It could be anywhere from 10% to sometimes even the highest amount we actually got, and this is quite surprising actually. One of the students that I worked with got a 75% scholarship, and by all means, I am 100% sure that this year, fall 2021, spring 2021, we're gonna get 100% one as well. But let me get to the facts of how we actually did that, because I know that will help you guys out most, okay? So one thing you need to understand is that there's a university with a great rank that you might be a great fit for, and secondly, there's a university with maybe a lower rank, but this university will be willing to give you a lot of scholarships. This might be a safe university for you. You might not like going to a safe university if, especially you've studied in basically Asian countries, especially. If you've studied in these countries, then maybe, I'm pretty sure that you would be really concerned about the rank of the university you go to, because that's how it is over here. I understand that. Especially in Asia, a lot of companies don't even visit campuses of universities or colleges which are not good enough according to them, right? And that's what you're scared of, that you might not get that job at Microsoft, you might not get that offer from Google, you might never even face the interview from Amazon. So these things, if you're really worried about these things, let me tell you, the rank of the university in the US does not govern this. You can still get that interview with Google, with Amazon, with Venmo, even if you're not in the top 25 universities, okay? Even if you're not even in the top 100 universities, it still happens, trust me. The only people who are gonna care about the rank of the university more than you probably will be your relatives. And I get that, I understand. Coming from an Indian family, I know people expect that out of you. They expect you to go into the top universities over there, but understand this. You're an applicant, you went to maybe, you know, Stanford, and now you're in $100,000 debt. Over here, you're an applicant and you went to something like George Mason University and you have no debt at all. Which scenario would you prefer? $100,000 is a lot if you convert it in your own currency. Just trust me and think about this. You will always be happier with this decision if you go with George Mason University, like I said in this case, just as an example, and you have maybe a 50%, 60%, 70% scholarship, and you don't even have to pay that amount. You don't have to worry about that. That money you can spend on traveling, on doing a lot of other things when you're in the US, actually, you know, connecting with people, going to different places. So these are the things that you want to spend the money on. If you're all in with the tuition and you're taking a huge loan out of your pocket, it's going to get difficult for you. Understand this, okay? And this is something that I realized personally. I realized that it's going to leave a huge hole in your pocket, first off, and secondly, you might be in debt, and what if you don't even get a job? So things can go bad. Always assume like there can be a worst case scenario, but if you don't have any debt, you won't be worried at all, right? So that's my perspective over here. I want to help you guys really, you know, get this thing. The rank of the university is only important to your relatives and not to the people who are hiring, especially in the US. I mean, it's not like you're going to the bottom 100 universities, right? You're still making it to the top 300, 400, 500, whatever it is. And believe me, if this was me, I would pick that as well today. Because back when I applied, I did not know that. I was just like you guys. I was thinking that maybe I should go for the top ranked university, and you know, that's why I chose USC, and you know, all of these things happened. But the rank of the university does not matter so much. That's one thing. I hope you understand that. I know I'm repeating it so much, but it's something that I went through personally, and I understand that if someone today, back then, someone told me that the rank is not important, I would have not listened to them. So I can only advise you, hey, you might have a better perspective, you might have a better view, you might be thinking long term, but this is me. I'm telling you that if you're able to save up on a lot of money, the rank might not be so important. Okay? And once you get that idea engrossed into your mind, the next thing that you want to do is you can be smart and you can get into a university that might not be good enough for you at times, but which will offer you full funding even. Okay? And let me tell you, the few things that helped me a lot in this is by connecting with universities. A lot of people just do not connect with universities, they do not do their research. I'm gonna just give you like 1 or 2 examples in this video. We actually have a full-fledged scholarship help service, like even the complete application help service. We help people with their scholarships and that. I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 examples of what we do and the sort of things that you can also reproduce easily. Like, you don't need to work with us for that. So these are the sort of things that you can easily do sitting at your home. And it will just make sure that it helps your case, okay? So if you're on this channel, if you're subscribed, and this is all for you guys, it's all the research that I've carried out for 1 year, and it's all the results that I'm giving you in this video. Okay, so hold on. I know it's a little longer than I expected it to be, but yeah. All right. First thing, do not be afraid to connect with universities. A lot of people are afraid of emailing the universities, of getting in touch with the right people. Do not be that person. Universities are always happy to see if you are willing to fight for the scholarships, funding, whatever it is that you're willing to do. Okay, it's harder to get a TA or an RA. Of course, you won't even get a TA, by the way, or an RA in the first semester. Most people do not. And if you're expecting to get that sitting at home before you even step into the university, it's probably not going to happen. But getting a scholarship from the university, and this is the in-house scholarship that I was talking about, internal ones, that's way easier. That's what I figured out. I mean, I never thought so, but it is. And the first thing you gotta do is connect with the universities and ask them, how can we make this happen? Is that a possibility? Before you even apply to the university, talk to them, ask them, is that even a possibility? Now, the second thing over here, who do you connect with? All right. One thing that you might want to keep in mind is that you want to connect with the right person, okay? And I'm going to tell you ways to connect with them. Of course, the 2 ways are email, and the second would be basically, phone. So you can email them or you can phone them, right? So these are the 2 ways. You can call them or you can email them. There's really no better way. But a lot of people would go for emailing over connecting with them over the phone. And trust me, connecting with them over the phone can bring out results that email just never will. That's something I realized. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you where you can find the appropriate numbers. Okay, I'm gonna tell you where you can find the emails. I'm gonna tell you where you can find the exact right person to talk to. Okay, so if you go onto YMGrad.com, you search for your favorite university over there. Okay, you go onto the university page and scroll down to the bottom. Scroll down to the bottom. What you will find is that we have a financial aid officer over there. You'll get his or her name. Secondly, you'll get his or her contact phone number. That's the right person to contact. Now you might be wondering, hey, I am not in the United States and maybe calling over there will be very, very costly for me. Let me tell you, there are a lot of clients, basically, you call them clients essentially, but they are online services that can help you connect with people, that can help you call someone on their phone using the internet. Yeah, search for that, you will find some. I really don't have a personal choice, but there's a lot of them. You can just search for that and you can start doing that right now. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, now you know the financial aid contact. Now you don't know their number. If you want to connect with them over email, you can go onto the official university's website, check the admissions office email, and you can connect with them over email. That can happen too. Okay, and these are really the main things of really, you have to connect with universities. And the third would be research. You need to be able to research well, and you need to be able to find out the deals that are out there. A lot of people don't even know about these deals. I'm going to give you just one example over here because I don't want to make this video overly long, but there's actually plenty of them. And I discuss these with people who work with me all the time. But let me give you an example, okay? So a lot of people don't really prefer applying to, they don't have a location in mind. This is for those people, okay? if you're not sure about the location in the US where you want to apply, you can go on for Texas. The state of Texas has this policy, and you can read more about it. I've talked about it in my older videos, but they have this policy that even if you get $1,000 scholarship from your program, from your school, that is internal scholarship that I talked about previously, you are eligible for in-state tuition. Do you know how much difference is for in-state tuition? Let me just give you an example. Okay, so there's just a sample university here, and there's the in-state tuition, there's the out-of-state tuition. I'm going to do it one more time, okay? One more university, in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition. Which one do you think you want to go with, right? So if you get even $1,000 off from your program, the state of Texas has this rule that you can pay the in-state tuition. I mean, how crazy is that? Did you guys know about that? Comment down below, let me know if you know about that. There's actually a lot of such schemes that, you know, people don't really know about, but they can make your life so much easier. Understand this, okay? You have to put in the research, and if you cannot do that, trust me, you can work with us. I will do that for you. I've already done that. I'm already experimenting a lot. Now this is not an advert, you don't have to do that, but again, I'm just showing you the power of research. And this is me after I went to USC. I knew that that was going to burn a hole in my pocket, and I was okay with that personally. I was, until and unless I realized that the output that I was getting from there was not aligning with my long-term goal. Okay, so that's really, you know, a different story for me. But today, if you ask me if I want to go today, I would pick the university that gives me a huge scholarship, even if the rank might not be great. That's true. Okay, so I hope this video helps you out. I want to tell you that even if you are from a middle class family, you want to go for bachelors, you want to go for PhD, whatever you want to go for, it is possible. You do not, and you absolutely do not have to wait for, you know, your bachelor's to be over and then go in for a master's just because it looks cheaper. That's something that I did. Because my family, I remember I was sitting down in the other room and we were discussing how bachelor's was super costly and we just cannot afford it. And we thought, hey, you know, it's not over, we'll send him for the master's, and that's what I did, right? So again, it is important. You need to understand this. If you're a student, show this video to your parents, tell them that it's possible. If you're a parent watching this video, I want you to share this among all the students, among all the parents that can benefit from this. They need to know this. It's just something that I did not know, and it wasted around 5-6 years of my life. And it could have changed the whole thing for me. It could have. I don't want that to happen to you. This is my experience, and I hope this really, you know, I hope you take something away from it. You know, I know we might disagree with it. You can, of course, you're free to do that. Let me know in the comments down below why you would do that, and you know, if there's a better alternative out there. Maybe I did not catch the bigger picture, but this is what I see right now, and this is an opportunity that you should not let go of. Alright, this is Yash Mitra. I'll be signing off now. If you need personal help, you can connect with me on Instagram. You can sign up on YMGrad.com. Again, everything over there built by us guys, and you know, I'll be personally helping you. And again, if there's anything else you need help with, what you should do is, the best thing is to publicly ask the question over here on YouTube, so that I can help you as well as I can help other people who might have the same doubt in their mind, right? So people can check that question out. Again, I hope this helps you. I hope this answers your questions. I hope you have a great study abroad experience, and I hope you're ready to start cracking and applying. Okay? I'll see you in the next one.